Hey Haunter, Squash here for episode 10 of Nigel Thornberry of the Wild Thornberries gets to transported to the world and wild fields of Monster Hunter while learning the switch axe to cull endangered animals. Last episode we bested a land eel, Duna, a reverse germaphobe, Gore Magala, and a cold monkey, Blangonga. Our final mission for this series is the dog with chains, Arkfeld.
Good. Well then, let's get to it!
Let me tell you something about Arkfeld, a monster so unnecessarily massive, so philosophically cursed, it looks like a ghost had a nightmare about a cathedral and that nightmare sprouted legs, developed a tragic backstory, and then asked Capcom for a union. And against that, you're showing up with a longsword. What are you trying to do? Brush its teeth. This is Arkfeld, not your anime dojo sparring partner with a tragic sibling. You don't bring a sword to a god fight. You bring a switch axe. See, Arkfeld isn't just big, it's got phases. You're not just fighting a monster, you're fighting an idea. This thing shifts into different elemental states like a divorced weather god trying to ruin your camping trip. 1 minute it's wind, then it's fire, then it's singing Gregorian chants made of plasma storms and guilt. And through all that, switch axe don't care. It's like, I'm a sword, no wait, I'm an axe. No wait, I'm your trauma incarnate and I just drank your ancient energy like a smoothie. You know what a longsword does when Arkfeld does its spinning Cathedral of Doom attack? Dies. You know what a bow does? Regret. You know what a switch axe does? Super amped element discharge straight into the stained glass spleen. Because let's talk mechanics. Arkfeld's got that shifting hitbox nonsense. Parts open up, parts close. You never know if you're hitting bone or energy or some kind of ecclesiastical fungus. But the switch axe doesn't matter. Sword mode ignores zones like it's ghosting your ex. It hits everything like it's the right thing to hit. Oh, you just revealed your vulnerable glowing underrib that hums with the souls of 1,000 fallen kingdoms. Guess who already queued up zero-sum discharge? You can't out-transform the switch axe. It's the only weapon that looks at a monster mid-mutation and goes, oh, you're changing forms? Cute. I do that every 5 seconds and it's called a combo. You ever try to dodge Arkfeld's Spire Lance dive attack with a great sword? You basically hold the charge button, whisper a prayer, and die in slow motion. But with switch axe, you reposition mid-swing, morph into sword, slap it with filed juice, and ride the shockwave into an accidental double mount because physics is just a concept. And let's not forget, you get the best mounting animations with the switch axe. When you mount Arkfeld, it's not like other weapons where you look like a cat trying to wrestle a jet engine. No, switch axe mounting is pure anime. You leap, morph midair, and land on the sanctified spine of an eldritch cathedral beast with all the grace of a caffeine-addicted thunder god. Because switch axe users aren't hunters, they're consequences. And Arkfeld knows it. You ever look into its eyes during the second phase, when it starts casting solar benediction or whatever it's called, and see that flicker of doubt? That's not fear of you. That's fear of the axe-sword combo reality you bring with you. Look, Arkfeld summons pillars of heaven, like actual divine architecture. You know how most weapons deal with that. They run, they dodge, they cry. You know what switch axe does? It climbs those pillars, morphs mid-vault, and brings down the thunder. It turns divine miracles into horizontal real estate. And don't get me started on element matching. Arkfeld is everything. Fire, water, light, darkness, the lingering sorrow of a forgotten civilization. Switch axe, also everything, because you build it with the exact element you need. You got a paralysis file, that's taser mode. Power file, rage blender. Dragon file, welcome to Exorcism Simulator 5000. Oh, it went airborne with its archangel wings of justice. Switch axe morph attack to sky hook, grab its halo, and turn it into a Beyblade of regret. You think Gunlance can do that? No. Gunlance players are still reloading from 15 seconds ago and wondering why their sharpness is cheese-flavored dust. You ever hear that Arkfeld's immune to traditional weapon timing? That's adorable. Switch axe doesn't have traditional timing. It's like jazz on monster steroids. You start with an axe combo, throw in a dodge, morph into sword, blow something up, morph back midair, do a barrel roll through an ancient curse, and land in a file-charged power slam that deletes half the monster's conscience. Meanwhile, your Palico is just in the back like, damn, I didn't know we were doing Shakespearean vengeance tonight. Let's talk about the final phase. Arkveld's cathedral body explodes, wings extend. It channels forgotten solar storms through a crystal prism of broken timelines and pain. Hunters scatter. Panic erupts. Faint counters go off. And what do? You activate Amp State. And you walk toward it. That's right, no blocking. No rolling. Just asterisk walking like the protagonist of an apocalypse who invited the apocalypse over for drinks and brought a murder stick. And the Switch Axe murder stick don't ask questions. It solves problems. You know what you can do in sword mode? Ignore roars. Ignore tremors. Ignore logic. Just face tank the concept of pain, then zero-sum discharge through a multi-element beam of divine retribution like you're writing poetry in a war crime. You think a dual-blade user could survive that phase? Maybe, if they brought 17 max potions and a support group. Switch Axe just shows up with purple sharpness, an attitude, and the self-esteem of a dragon-slaying motivational speaker. Oh, but the fight is really long, people whine. Yeah, so is my combo string, Jeremy. And unlike your sad little slashes, mine end in explosions. You want style points? Look at this swing. Look at this morph. Look at the effects. It's not a weapon. It's Monster Hunter's version of a drop-the-mic moment every time it hits something. Even Arkveld's choir shuts up when it sees Switch Axe enter the zone. Oh no, whispers the divine essence of time itself. He's charging the axe. Someone cancel the judgment protocol. You can't outscale Switch Axe, because Switch Axe doesn't scale, it escalates. And even when Arkveld tries to adapt, when it learns your patterns, when it unleashes that three-stage combo of holy fire, piercing light, and time reversal, you just look it dead in the eye and say, I transform too, you sanctified chandelier. And then you light it up like it owes you rent. Even better, you can clutch onto Arkveld's flying form during phase transitions, unload your files, and ride the sky as it screams in 5-part harmony. Your team's down to one faint left. You're all out of buffs, don't worry. Because you've got 1 bar of gauge left, and that's all Switch Axe needs to rewrite the script. You don't kill Arkveld with Switch Axe. You redeem it. Anyways, enough exaggerated battle monologue. Here why learning and using the Switch Axe in Monster Hunter Wilds is one of the best choices you can make as either a new hunter just stepping out of camp for the first time or a veteran who's carved more monsters than you've had hot meals. Why? Because it's a weapon that teaches you the game while also letting you break every rule in the rulebook, with style. For new players, the Switch Axe is a masterclass in versatility. It gives you a clear view of both ranged spacing and close-range aggression, helping you naturally understand monster patterns without forcing you into a rigid playstyle. It rewards patience when you need to learn, but explodes into chaos the moment you're ready to be bold. It introduces mechanics like file management, positioning, and combo flow, but does so with enough forgiveness to let you experiment without getting punished constantly. You're not locked into an animation like a great sword user, and you're not constantly juggling insects like a Kinsect main auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. You get a clean slate and a clean hit, over and over again. For returning players, the Switch Axe is the Swiss Army chainsaw of Monster Hunter. You can go into a fight with no plan, turn your brain off, and still accidentally mount a monster, sever its tail, break its face, and look good doing it. Or you can go full tactical genius, maximizing file uptime, abusing elemental explosions, and reading monster movements like a psychic sword dancer. Either way, you're engaging in a constant transformation, between sword and axe, between chaos and control, and it never gets old. Whether you're looking for something with reach, power, flash, or flexibility, the Switch Axe doesn't ask you to choose. It hands you all of it at once and tells you, here, go ruin someone's ecosystem. And with that, we slay Arkveld. How do you think I did with the switch axe? Rate me from 1 to 10 with all your honest opinion. Roast me, give me tips, anything. Want me to do something in the next video? Drop your comments, I'll try my best. We end another Casual Gamer Learns a Weapon He Sucks or No Idea Switch Axe Edition series. But do you know what doesn't end? Me thank you for always sticking with me, so thank you, you beautiful bastard. Have a nice day.